Because I'm looking and I'm seeing the vaginal speculum from J. Marion Sims. J. Marion Sims invented the first vaginal speculum, and he created that after doing painful experiments
on black women.
black women, right? Cutting them and with no anesthesia.
No anesthesia.
Nothing, right? So I'm looking at, and I know that's where we're going.
Modern gynecology is based off of these practices.
These practices.
Yes.
So I'm looking, and I'm trying. I said, they're not going to have that. And they show you his pewter spoon. He made it out of a pewter spoon. Unfortunately, probably some people don't know what a speculum is. I'm going to have you look it up so you can know, all the men. So we get to it, and encased in glass are his instruments that he used on black girls and women, right, who suffered from obstetric fistulas, right? That's a whole other story. I don't even go down that road. It's very hard to...
It is, because even you touch on it in the book.
It's so horrific, and the sister in Alabama does a whole lot better. She's got a huge, wonderful kind of museum there. Anyway, so so we're getting close to it, and what they're saying to me in the in the headphones, they're saying, imagine coming across a rocky sea. This is the immigrants, to a land you know nothing about. Imagine being crowded together and then being forced to be examined with these crude instruments and all of this. This is what they're saying. They're saying imagine.
Wow.
And they're asking me, Dr. Joy, they're asking me to have empathy for white women. To imagine what it must feel like to be poked and prodded and to wonder whether you'll be allowed to stay or you'll be sent back. They're asking me to imagine that. And because I have not lost my humanity, of course, I can empathize with these women. But who empathizes with the sister who is chained in her own excrement in the belly of a ship that is repeatedly raped and beaten? Who says, imagine what it must have been like for her, my sister, the one whose shoulders I stand on? Where is it anywhere that someone says, remember her?
Come on.
And that is the hard part for me, because I have my humanity. Yeah. I refuse to let someone take that from me. But I also refuse to erase her.
Come on.
I will not. And I will not allow my children or my grandchildren, I will not allow them not to understand who paid for them.
Yeah.
I won't do it. And I don't care what anybody says or does. And let me tell you something. They don't want our children, they don't want any American children to know these stories, to know these truths. They don't want them to know. But they must not understand children, because the moment you tell them they can't.
Come on, what are we going to do? Let me go find out about it. Yeah.
There are a lot of victims. Infants, the most innocent.
Reading your book and then going to read Harry Washington, Medical Apartheid, and you just learn things that you would have never even known how we were experimented on.
Tuskegee syphilis, that's as far as we go.
Yeah.
And that was child's play compared to what was done. And I'll tell you something. You mentioned that. It gives me a segue right now, because J. Marion Sims, the same man who experimented on all of these women, also accused enslaved Africans, accused them for the fact that the children have what we now know as neonatal tetanus. He called it Trimus nascentium, just made up something, but it's neonatal tetanus. Tetanus derives from manure.
Oh, wow.
The likely cause of it because of the proximity enslaved Africans were to animal stables. But he said it was because of their indecency of their parents. And so he decided he was going to try to correct it with a shoemaker's awl. And it is a pointed object that they poke holes in leather with. Every child that was born with what neonatal tetanus, with people like him caused because of where they had to sleep, attempted to reshape their heads and had a 100% fatality rate, killed every single child.
Yeah.
And they had a statue of him until 2018 when Harriet Washington, myself, and others said, you're going to move that from Central Park.
Central Park.
Had J. Marion Sims. It's now at his grave, by the way. That's where the statue is. But it stood there until 2018. He was a monster. And they were praising him.
Because he was the medical, Modern Medical Association.
So he was the president.
He was the president.
Right. And so here's what we are struggling with, right? One, the lies, just literally outright lies. And then the absence of the truth. Not just the lies that they're saying, but the fact that certain things never make it to the text. And now even the 2 pages of Black history that you and I grew up with, that's gone. And one of those was a picture.
Listen.
So we don't have, and again, but shame on us, especially now, to think anybody's going to lean in. If we don't lean in, no one will.
Yeah. If we don't lean in, no one will. As we begin to close this, I could talk to you all day. I know they're going to be in the comments like, Dr. Joy got to come back. Dr. Joy got to come back. I ask every guest that comes on to the show one word that they are committed to in this season of their life. One word.
Man. Truth.
Yeah.
Truth.
Why?
That's my commitment.
Why?
Because without truth, you have nothing. You don't have anything in your marriage if you don't have truth. You don't have anything in your work, in your faith. You have nothing if you don't have truth. It is the foundation of everything else, and sometimes it's hard. It's hard. But we are renewed. We are lifted by truth. It's like my grandmother used to say, and I talk about this a little bit because my grandmother Ophelia, she used to say, you know what you got to do with a boil? Now, I didn't know what a boil was, first of all. But she would always, and it would always be a point in the conversation where she'd say, you know what you got to do with a boil? I don't know if they had a lot of boils back then. I don't know what that was about. And of course, she is speaking in metaphor because a boil is something that has to be treated or it will fester. So you sometimes have to lance it. Mm-hmm. And that is painful. But you got to get that poison out in order to heal. And that is what truth is. Truth is lancing the boil.
It's lancing the boil. Dr. Joy DeGruy, you are so necessary. You are so needed. I am so grateful that you came and spent some time with me. This has been so divine. It has been years in the making, but I am so glad I got to share space with you. Vault Empowers Talks, another good one. I need you to go ahead and share this with somebody who needs a little more truth in their life. We're shedding light in this season 3. I'm so excited for what is to come. I'm so glad you decided to join me today. I'm your girl, Brandi Harvey. Until next time, eat well, give a damn, move your body every single day. Peace. Hey, Vault family, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this clip, make sure to check out our full interview on our channel at Vault Empowers Talks. We don't just scratch the surface. We dive deep into the lives of some of the world's most influential leaders and change makers. Don't forget to like, to comment, and be sure to subscribe for more inspiring conversations. See you next time.